It's been a minute since I've really delved into my single shadow collection, but that all changes today. I am so excited because I am doing yet another video with Shine by SD. If you guys don't know, I've done tons of videos in collaboration with Shine, so I'm gonna leave them down below, and we have some new single shadows, and I am so excited to share them with you. There's a new hidden gems collection I'm gonna swatch out for you guys. I also have some of the Fantasy 2.0 shadows, which are super flaky, multichromatic, super sparkly, and honestly, these are bringing me back. I'm like, why has it been so long since I've really been, you know, getting into my single shadow? So videos to come, stay tuned. I know some of you guys have been asking, so there will be some more singles content on the channel soon. But like I said, this video is sponsored by Shine by SD. I love working with Shaniqua. She lets me do my thing. She lets me showcase the shadows how I want to. And I really want these videos, as with all the other ones, to be a reference point so you guys can see the shifts, see the texture, see the shine. I like detailing the colors so you guys can really know what you're getting. It can be really hard when you're shopping online, so I like to try to give you all the information that I can so that you can make the best decisions for yourself, which shadows are going to be right for you, which shadows aren't, all of that. I'm gonna have timestamps down below so you can get to where you want to go, because I feel like I have a few things to say in this intro, but I'm also, like I said, gonna leave all of my past videos down there as well, so that way they're all in one place. I also with this video thought it'd be fun to do a top 10 because I've done so many of these, and I thought that would be simple, and no, it's not. Out of my whole collection, Shine by SD is definitely one of the biggest, if not the biggest amount of singles that I have. So swatching everything was so much fun, but like it was an impossible task to truly pick a top 10. So I'm going to talk about 10 of my favorites in this moment, but honestly that could change. So really use asterisks, which I like to put next to some of my like all-time favorites or just really standout shadows to help you know what are some of my favorite picks out of different collections. Definitely use those if you're shopping around. But for anyone who's just looking, I hope that these shadows just kind of bring you some joy. I love swatching them. They're so pretty. They're so sparkly. I have so much fun capturing the color shifts and the texture, which I'm not going to be filming overhead. I'm actually just filming the swatches how I've been doing lately. I don't want to say that I've perfected because I'm always going to want to like keep going forward and keep getting better, but I really do think that I've captured the flip and the texture and all of that really well. So I really hope it is super helpful for you guys. I did film this look, so I'll give a little talk through at the end. I'm sure there will be a timestamp for that. And I think last, I do have a code with Shine by SD. It is Lauren, and it can save you some money. It is not monetarily affiliated, but like I mentioned, this video and all my Shine by SD videos have been sponsored by the brand. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you to Shine by SD. And I think with that, let's actually just get into the shadows. All right, I'm gonna start with the Hidden Gems collection, and those take up kind of the bottom half of the palette here. I really love the Hidden Gems collection, even though they might not be as sparkly as some of the other shadows or as multichromatic. I actually quite love that, especially more recently. So I'm excited to get into these, and they're also a little bit more affordable. They all retail for between $10 and $11 USD. So we're gonna get into those shadows first. Starting off with Breakthrough, this is probably, I don't know if I want to say my favorite, but I kind of do because it's one of the more neutral leaning shadows, and Shine by SD does so many beautiful colors. I love that. I love the sparkle. I love the multichromes. They are so beautiful. But when I think of what I'm really wearing more on the daily basis, Breakthrough is one of those colors. This is a mauve-y kind of rose gold type of shade. It has a little bit of a warm base on it and kind of a rosiness to the shimmer. But inside that shimmer, there's some green sparkles. There's also some like purplish sparkles, and they are stunning. I love that this shadow is a little bit more low-key, but still nice and sparkly and shiny without being like chunky. It is stunning. I really, really love that one. Definitely a top recommendation. Moving on to Just Right, this is another neutral, and this in some lights looks like a kind of grayish taupe. Again, it has more of like a satin quality to it. I would call it more like a elevated satin because it's not quite a traditional satin. It's more sparkly than that, but it's not as sparkly as some of the other shadows in the line. And I'll differentiate because not all of the Hidden Gems are the same texture even, but Just Right in some lighting also has kind of this pink shimmer going on top of it. So it has a little bit of a flip going, but it's nice and subtle. I really love this. I really love a neutral shadow. Again, you guys already know. So that one's stunning. And then last for really the neutrals, this one is called Long Shot, and this is another more satin shade. This is another one I really love. This is a little smoky for me for every single day, but I've really been enjoying putting this shadow just all over my lid and blending out. It has a nice sheerness to it, but can be built up. And again, it has kind of that satin thing going on. And this one's really like a true neutral. There's a little bit of almost, I want to say like a little bit of a confetti sparkle going on, but it is very, very subtle. So you're not really getting too much of a flip in this one. Maybe a little bit of like a green shimmer running through it, but it's nice and subtle. Absolutely stunning for a nice like kind of taupey, gray, grungy, smoky eye. Moving into the first colorful shadow, this one's called Shine Bright, and this is another one I really love. It has a yellow base on it, but then this really pretty cool pink and purple, and even a little bit of like blue sparkle on top. I love that juxtaposition of like a warm base with some cool shimmer on top. It's like one of my favorites. So I really, really love this. And for a lot of these shimmer shadows, a lot of these like colorful shadows, I think about them in terms of like singular lid shadows or like an inner corner pop. That's really how I wear this type of shadow nowadays. Next, we have the shade Limelight. This is another more like satiny color, but it's in this beautiful lime green. Again, really love this one. There's a little bit of like a blue shimmer on top with this one, and this green has a lot of yellow to it. So I put this all over my lid and I really liked it that way, but it had a nice brightness to it. I feel like in the pan, it looks like, oh, maybe it'll be a little subdued, but I really feel like that lemon lime color came out. So it definitely popped, and it reminded, I don't know why, it reminded me of Totally Spies. Like, that is what I was thinking while it was on my eyelids. I was like, okay, Totally Spies, love that. All right, next we have the shade Fierce, and this is one of the more unique shadows I feel like out of this bunch. So this has like a blue-green base on it. The shimmer that's on top is kind of multichromatic. So it has a little bit of orange, a little bit of gold, a little bit of green, and even like verging on some pink, but it has all three of those colors in this really fine shimmer on top of that blue base. This one I do find stains a little bit. That blue base on the bottom is almost like a matte. I don't know if you've ever tried the Glam Shop shadows. They have a velvet formula, and in some ways, because the base feels like different than the top shimmer, this reminds me of that a little bit. There's another shadow that's kind of similar as well, and I'll talk about that. I think it'll be like the last shadow I swatch for you guys in this collection. Next, we're gonna get into some blue shadows. This one is called Jazzy Green. I love how I called it blue and it's called Jazzy Green, but this is a little bit more on the cool blue side to me anyway. It has that blue base, so when the light's not shining on it, you really see that blue coming through there. And then on top of that is this really icy shimmer. Has some blue to it, but it also has some pink and kind of violet shimmers going on. Really pretty, very icy looking, very cool tone when the light's hitting it. Then next, this one is really beautiful. It's called Infinite Blue, and I really love this one. It's a little bit sheer. You guys know I love that. And this one doesn't have as distinguished of a base from the top shimmer, if that makes sense. So I really feel like this is a stunning like satin blue smoky eye. It almost is like the color of denim, but a little bit subdued. It's like expensive denim in a Tom Ford quad. Like, that's what I get from it. It almost feels like a baked shadow in that way. Super, super pretty. I don't feel like there's tons of like shifting going on necessarily. Maybe a little bit of purple or like a little bit of a fuchsia pink, but it doesn't have a ton of flip, just a beautiful like shine to it. Again, almost like a baked highlighter type of shine on that one. Then we have the shade Take Me Back. This is one of the most sparkly out of this whole collection. So if you're looking for a really sparkly shadow, you're gonna really love this one. This is like a teal blue green. It has like a little bit of gold reflect going on. Really stunning. I'm thinking like Little Mermaid when I look at this. I feel like for me, I would love this on the lower lash line, just like in the front little portion. That's where I would pop that color for sure. Next, we have the shade Summer Splash. This is a pretty blue shadow. Again, that base is very, very strong in this one. And then it has a shimmer on top, which is like a pinky purple again. A little bit of silver as well. It is very pigmented in the base, more pigmented than some of the other shadows. So you really get that punch of blue, and the blue that's on here is like a true blue to me. Like, it looks a little more cool toned in the pan, I think, because that shimmer is coming off. Like, it looks almost indigo, but actually swatched out, it's not nearly as cool toned or as purple toned of a blue. All right, we're getting to a few more of my favorites. I really like these next two shadows personally. This one is called Looking Good, and it is, it gives me Barbie. I love it. I have another shadow I'm gonna be showing you though that's like really like hyped up Barbie, but this one one is stunning. I love how shimmery this one is. This one also, I feel like out of all the shadows, really delivers on the shine. There's not much of a base on it, and I tend to like that as well because I feel like it's easier just to kind of tap all over my lid, get that kind of ethereal look that you guys know I love. And this one is like a pinky purple, so lots of different shimmers in here though. It has some pink, there's some silver, there's like some hot pink, some more purpley pink, all kind of mixed together to create this shadow. And again, I love that there's not really a true base on it. It makes it really easy to tap all over the lid. Next we have the shade Bubblegum. This is a true pink, so it's a little bit warmer than the last shade. It doesn't have really any purple in it. There's a little bit of a pink base to this, and then pink shimmer with a little bit of silver shimmer on top. This one is very similar in texture to the last shadow. Good looking, so both of those are really stunning. They're kind of similar to each other. You technically don't need both, but I love both of them. I think they're so pretty. And then the last in the Hidden Gems collection, I can't believe we're already here. This one is called No Choice, and this is similar to that Fierce shade, which had that really strong kind of teal base with all that kind of almost multi-chrome on top. This one also has a really strong like watermelon pink base, and then on top of that there's this like gold leaning green shimmer, which is such a stunning combination, but you really do get a lot of that pink base. So that is why it reminds me of those velvet shadows from Glam Shop, in that there's like a matte base with the shimmer sitting on top, but it's all in one shadow. Like you don't have to layer anything, you don't have to do anything. That's just how it comes across. So that one has a definite strong pink base, and I love that kind of green gold shimmer that's on top. It almost gives it like a wet shine look. It's very pretty. And those are the new Hidden Gem shadows. Like I said, I will leave asterisks next to my favorites out of the bunch, just so you can kind of know what my style and my preference are. But they're all really beautiful, definitely stunning shadows. And I love that these ones are more affordable. I still think you get a lot of great shine, a lot of great sparkle from these. All right, the next shadows I'm going to be swatching are the Fantasy 2.0. Now these ones are showstoppers, okay? They are absolutely stunning. They're a little bit more flaky in texture, but they have a lot more going on when it comes to the shine, when it comes to the flips on them. They're like more multi-chromes, and you're gonna really see those in the swatches. There are 3 new ones, but I have 7 to swatch here for you. I think one of them I've swatched before, at least for sure, but I'm gonna swatch all the ones that I have here so that you can really see them. I'm telling you, it's like candy for your eyes. I love this. This is what gets me so excited about shimmers and makes me want to play with my makeup for sure. The Fantasy 2.0 singles retail for 16 USD, so they're a little more expensive, but like I said, they definitely have a lot more pizzazz going on. Each of them is definitely super shiny and super flippy. So let's get into those shadows. Starting off with Can't Stop. This is a stunning shadow. This one's a little less chunky than some of the other ones. It is a yellow with a transparent base, but it also flashes green. It has a little bit of a pink thing going on. I mean, the base is, it's hard to say. It's like it is transparent, but it also has a slight pink tinge to it. The gold that's in here, like I said, flips to green, but it also flips to a green that has a little bit of a blue tinge to it, which I absolutely love. This one is one of my favorites for sure. I feel like for as sparkly as it is and for as much shift is going on, I still think it's really wearable, and I think there's a lot of ways you can use it. Next is the shade Obsessed. This is so pretty. This is one of the more flaky ones in here, so it can give you more of a textured look. You can also wear this more foiled though if you want to. This one is seriously stunning though. It has a pink base to it, but it has some gold, it has some orange, it has a little bit of green and some light when you get it there. It's almost like glass-like and reflective, so I really suggest with all of these Fantasy 2.0, I forgot to mention at the beginning, but really using a tacky base if you want to have that longevity, just to really keep those sparkles on your lids all day long. Next, we have the shade Next Level, another one of these really beautiful flaky, but can be turned into like a solid, almost foiled look on the lids. This has a green base to it. Like all of these have a different colored base, and then they have shimmer on top of that. It's so stunning. This one's green, it's gold, it's orange, it has a little bit of a pink reflect to it. I mean, I love how thin these shadows are. The Shine by SD formula is definitely a little bit different than other formulas, and I love it. I personally love the Shine by SD formula so much. You guys already know. Next, we have the shade Takeover. This one has a blue kind of purple base to it, but then it has like a warmer overtone. So when the light's not hitting it, you really see that blue come out. It's really quite pigmented. And then when the light hits it, you get that again, gold, green, a little bit of pink, a little bit of orange coming through as well. Again, so pretty. These multi-chromes, like, I feel like make me believe in magic. That's what they always look like. Like, I'm like, damn, magic exists. If this can exist, magic exists for sure. Next, we have the shade Perfect Match. And this one has almost like a gray kind of base to it. So it's not quite transparent, but it also isn't as colorful as some of the other ones. And then again, we have the gold, the kind of green, the orange, and the pink going through on this one. This one's definitely a really pretty one, especially if you don't want a specific kind of base color. If you want something that you can kind of tap over a bunch of different stuff, that one is stunning. Then next we have the shade Game Over. I'm pretty sure I've swatched Game Over. Like, this seems so familiar, but this is one of my top ones out of here. I would say the first shadow I swatched, Can't Stop. If you like pink, I think you're really gonna love Obsessed. And then I really love Game Over. This one is one of those just like fairy princess. I just am a sucker for these kinds of shadows, these color flips. So this has a purple base on it, and then the shift on this one is like green, gold into like a tealy green, blue verging on that, and a little bit of a blue. It's just so pretty. I just can't get over the way that purple looks with that type of flip on it, with the green, the teal, the kind of blue, a little bit of gold. It is just like a fairy tale to me. It is absolutely stunning, and I am a sucker for that color combination. It is so pretty. And then last, for the Fantasy 2.0 collection shadows that I have here, this one is called No Other, and this is actually what I'm wearing tapped over my lid today. This is a stunning orange shadow with like a transparent base. It has some gold to it. It has a little bit of pink to it. It also has a little bit of green to it. And this one again comes off a little bit more sparkly, and I call it like piecey, but as in like pieces. So it's like more pieces of sparkle instead of something a little bit more finely milled, and it is absolutely stunning. I really love this. I love these kind of orangey, brighter colors, especially in summer, as one shadow looks. Like I said, I'll talk through my shadow a little bit later, but this is what I have all over the lid. So pretty. And that is the Fantasy 2.0 collection, and they are so stunning. You can see them here. I don't know why, it's giving me like Willy Wonka, it's giving me candy, it's giving me just such a fantasy, and I absolutely love it. All right, guys, I hope the swatches were helpful, and that if you were looking at these, they really showed you some color differences, the texture, so you could really know what you're getting. I'm excited to talk to you about the 10 that I picked out. This is the overview of what I'm going to be showing with you. So I have some older collection. I actually have some from the collection I've shown you, because some of them I just absolutely loved. And then, like I said, I'll show you this look, which I used 2 of the shadows from here. So let's get into my top 10 currently, and I mean in this exact moment. It could change tomorrow, okay? Because they're so pretty. Don't hold me to it. There's so many good ones to choose from. So let's get into these swatches. All right, starting off, we have Reserve number 1. If you've been here a long time, the Reserve collection was one of my top recommendations for a long time. If you're just looking for that kind of topper sparkle, they are some good shadows. There's like 6 or 7 in the line. I can't remember off the top of my head here, but this one, Reserve number 1, is really beautiful. It has like a pinky, a fuchsia kind of sparkle to it. It also has a little bit of a green going on, but it's all over kind of a transparent base. So I really love this one as just like a topper, just to add a little extra sparkle, a little extra shine. It does give you a little bit of a flip on it too, but it is stunning, and I just love the Reserve collection so much. It's one of those like oldie but a goodie shadows. Next, I really wanted to put in a green. There were so many beautiful greens to choose from. It was definitely hard, but I ultimately went with the Think I'm Crazy shade from the Fantasy collection. This has a lot of shifts going on with it. So it's green, but it has almost like a purple base to it, which I feel like is a little bit unexpected, or at least a little bit different. It's a light purple base though, and then it has some gold, it has some green. It is stunning, and this is what I used on my inner corner today. I really wanted something that would pop. You guys know I really love popping green on the inner corner. Hello, I'm obsessed with it. And And this one just has a nice amount of flip to it while still being, I feel like, nice and wearable. Okay, next is a very, I think, unique shadow. I feel like this is so unique. This is the shade So Sweet. This is from the Fantasy collection, and this is almost like a neon shadow. Like if you could capture a neon light in a shadow, that's what I feel like this is. It's a stunning purple fuchsia, and the base on it is so transparent that in some light you almost can't see it, and then it kind of flashes at you. It is stunning. Love, love, love this shadow. Just like a one shadow look, an inner corner highlight, anything like that. It is so, so pretty and so unique. I really love this one, and this one isn't super sparkly. Like there's not a ton of sparkle coming off. Like obviously it's shiny, but it is so, so pretty. And I have another shadow that's kind of similar I'll talk about. I just find the way that this shines so unique and just so stunning. Probably said stunning like 700 times in this video. Next, this is Barbie, okay? This next shadow, Loving Magenta. I love this. This is just kind of called a duochrome in the line, but I think that this is so pretty. Oh my gosh. So it's like this cool violet purple, almost kind of silvery on top of pink, but the base isn't super strong on this one. And I really just feel like if you want a Barbie type of shadow, if you are looking for that kind of perfect pinky purple with a nice amount of shimmer, you just could put this all over your lid. So girly, so pretty, add a little wing. That is one of my favorite ways to wear it. So good. Really, really, really love that shadow. You know, I told you I love the breakthrough shadow from the Hidden Gems collection. This is the first shadow I swatched in this video, and I do truly love it. I love that this has nice neutrality to it, nice and rosy, but again, has something kind of fun, a little bit elevated with the green and almost kind of purple sparkle that's running through here. Just stunning, and definitely one out of the whole line that's a little bit more wearable if you can't wear tons of color to work, or if you don't want something with too much flash or too much flip. That one is stunning. Really love it. Okay, next, I know a lot of you guys will know about this shadow. This is the Glam Rush shadow. This is one of those shadows, like I said, that makes me believe in fairy tales, makes me believe in magic. This is from the Dynasty collection, and this really has like such amazing flip to it. It has a purple base, but then on top it has a little bit of blue, a little bit of green, a little bit of pink, a little bit of orange, a little bit of gold. Like it's really every single color. It has that kind of tealy blue-green thing going on with the purple, which you guys already know I'm a sucker for, but this one does have gold and it does have pink in it. It has a little bit of almost orange as well. Like it really is almost a rainbow shadow in one singular shadow. I don't know how she did it, but it is stunning. Love Glam Rush. If you really want a very unique and very like multi-chromatic shadow, that one is the one for you. Next, for the shadow I have on my lid today, I use No Other, and this one is so pretty. It's a little bit more of like a flaky multi-chrome, and it looks so good just on its own. I love that this has a nice orange, and the orange almost flips to pink, but then it has that gold and then a little bit of the green too, which I feel like the green kind of sneaks in there, and I really like that it has that full range of flip in it. And then the base on that is pretty much transparent, which I also love. So it's a great one to top over if you want, or like I wore it today, I just tapped that all over my lid and I still love that look as well. Next, we have the shade Daylight. This is from the Fantasy collection, and this is similar to kind of that neon thing I was talking about. This is the orange version though. So again, the base on it is pretty transparent, but then it has this flip to it. It's hard to describe, but the way that the orange is in here, it's almost like a hot orange, almost like a red orange neon type of color, and it is stunning. It also has some gold going on, and this is another one that if you want a little bit of flip but maybe don't want tons of sparkly glitter, this one doesn't have tons of sparkle, but the shine on it is stunning. The way that it flips is beautiful. It's almost like an iridescent, again, neon type of color. We have two more shadows. Next, we have Mythical Seas. This has been a favorite for a while. I love this blue. If you're kind of scared of a blue smoky eye, you can either top this or just wear this on its own if you want, but I feel like Mythical Seas is so pretty. It has a gray base to it. It's not really a black because this is semi-sheer, so it's more like a gray, but the blue that's on here, this is one of my favorite types of blue. It's not a straight up blue. It has a little bit of green to it. It has a little bit of something that's like off, so it's not like primary or secondary, and I love that. I just think there's something about this that's sexy as well as a little mysterious, a little bit grungy. It looks good topped over stuff. If you want to put this over like a base, that looks so good. Like a cream shadow stick, even like a matte one in a taupey color, and then you tap this over, just such a stunning look. And then last one from the Hidden Gems collection, this is Purple Rain, and this is another one of those like purple shadows, and it has a little bit of that teal blue going on. This one's super sparkly with that purple base. This one is a stunning shadow. Reminds me of Loving Magenta, and the Hidden Gem collection, like I mentioned before, is a little bit more inexpensive, but this shadow doesn't feel like it should be. Like, I'm like, are you sure this one's not one of those like really multi-chromatic beautiful ones? Because it has so much shine. Oh, I just love this. This one gets me so inspired. Really reminds me why I love makeup, why I love these single shadows, why I love eyeshadow, to be honest. So that is my current top 10, in this moment, top 10. Just thought I would give you a rundown of a few other shadows so you could know what I'm loving in this huge collection that I have of Shine by SD. All right, guys, I really hope that all those swatches were helpful, and if anything, just beautiful to look at, because they really are some stunning shadows. I thought I would just talk through my look with you guys today. I feel like I'm a little oily, but I really love how this turned out, and I really wanted to showcase how I like to use like multichromes and color now, and a lot of the times it's in a more color block format. I mean, these would look stunning, don't get me wrong, in like a halo eye or something more intense, but I feel like this is how I make multichromes or duochromes or really sparkly shadows with some color to them work for me for every day, where I just feel still really pretty. I feel like it's still my style. So let me tell you how I did this look. I started off with some primer. I just did my normal primer, but I definitely suggest for some of the more sparkly shades to use a glitter glue if you really want that to stick all day, or if you're layering it on top of like matte powdered shadows already, you want something for those shadows to stick to, because the Shine formula, I love it because it can look really textured and really glittery, even though it's not glitter, but that does make it sometimes a little bit of a drier formula, so that stick really helps. Anyway, I put that primer down, and I knew that was going to be enough for what I was wanting, and then in my crease I decided to go with a little bit of bronzer. I just used this Kosa one, which already has a little bit of shimmer to it, and I thought it would work nicely. I just wanted a little bit of transition to help when I blended that shadow out with my finger. So for all over the lid, the only really shadow I used besides the bronzer is the shade No Other from the Fantasy 2.0 collection. I really love this kind of like orange and gold look for summer, but then this has that little extra peak of green too in certain lights. So I just tapped that all over. This one is a little bit more flaky, so I really just pressed it into my primer and onto the lid, and then as I had less product on my finger, I kind of blended up. That's kind of my technique with any shadow that I'm applying with my fingers. I did get a little bit of fallout, and then I just wiped that away with a brush. It was not a big deal. For the inner corner, I wanted to also do a color, and I don't always do this, but I really was feeling this juicy kind of summery look with the orange and kind of gold on the lid, a little bit of the green accenting the green that sometimes shifts on the eyeshadow, and then I already had like a juicy lip on, so I felt like all of it felt very summery and kind of fresh. The shadow I used for the inner corner is called Think I'm Crazy, and I showcased it in my top 10, and I just used a fluffy brush on it so that way I could get a lighter application just so the base didn't come through too much, and I thought that looked really good. Really liked the addition of that. And then I decided to put a wing on this look because I've just been loving the wing lately. I literally can't believe I'm saying that, but it looks really good, and I usually just do it with a little bit of powder shadow so it's not too harsh. I think that's one of the things I really like about the updated wing, is that the shadow makes it a little bit softer and doesn't give it too harsh of a line, but it still gives a lot of definition to the look and really grounds it, and I feel like makes it more of a look, if you know what I mean. So I love that. Added some mascara, and that's the final look, you guys. I hope you like it. I really love that the shimmer on the lid is a little transparent in the base, so it only is in some lights that you see it. I think that's really pretty and kind of fresh, like I said. So that is the look, and as you've seen it throughout the video, that is what I'm wearing today. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, I hope it was super helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Shine by SD for sponsoring this video, and other than that, I'm gonna leave it here. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.